There was a time when the name Allie Sherlock seemed to echo across the internet, carried by the sound of her raw, emotional voice. Standing on the busy streets of Dublin, guitar in hand, she turned ordinary days into unforgettable moments for strangers passing by. People didn't just hear her, they stopped, watched, and felt something. Her covers of well-known songs weren't just performances, they felt personal, almost as if she was telling her own story through someone else's lyrics. Videos of these moments quickly spread online, gathering millions of views and turning a street performer into a global sensation almost overnight. But behind that sudden rise was a deeper story, one not everyone noticed. As her fame grew, so did the questions about who she really was beyond the camera. And when her presence began to fade, curiosity turned into concern. What happened to the girl who once made the world stop and listen? Roots of passion and early inspiration. Allie's journey didn't begin with fame. It began at home, surrounded by music and encouragement. Growing up in Dublin, she was raised in an environment where melodies were always present. Her father played a crucial role, not just as a parent, but as her first mentor, introducing her to the guitar and nurturing her natural curiosity for music. From a young age, she found comfort in sound, rhythm, and lyrics, often spending hours exploring them. Dublin itself added another layer of inspiration. The city's streets are known for their vibrant music culture, where artists perform freely and creativity flows openly. Watching street musicians express themselves so fearlessly left a lasting impression on her. It showed her that music didn't need a stage or spotlight, it just needed honesty. These early influences shaped her identity, helping her understand that music wasn't just something she enjoyed, it was something she needed. It became her voice before she even realized the world would one day listen. Turning struggles into strength behind her growing passion, Allie also faced challenges that quietly shaped her journey. As a child, she dealt with health issues that often kept her away from school and normal routines. For many, this would have felt isolating, but for her, it became a turning point. During those long periods at home, music became more than a hobby, it became her escape. The guitar was always within reach, and with every chord she played, she found a sense of comfort and control. Those quiet, difficult days gave her time to practice, improve, and truly connect with her craft. What seemed like a setback slowly turned into preparation. By the time she was older, she had already developed a level of skill and emotional depth that many performers take years to achieve. It's often said that hardship reveals true passion, and in Allie's case, it did exactly that. Her struggles didn't hold her back. They helped her discover who she was meant to be. The streets that changed everything. At just 12 years old, Allie made a decision that would change her life forever. She stepped onto the streets of Grafton Street with her guitar. It was her first time performing for strangers, and there was no guarantee of how people would react. But something magical happened. Her voice cut through the noise of the busy street, drawing people in almost instantly. Passers-by stopped, listened, and many pulled out their phones to capture the moment. Those recordings soon found their way onto social media, where they spread rapidly. Within a short time, millions of people from around the world were watching her performances. One of her most memorable covers, including songs by Ed Sheeran, helped push her into international recognition. What started as a simple street performance became the foundation of a global career. That moment proved something powerful, that sometimes all it takes is one brave step to change everything. From viral sensation to rising star. As her videos gained traction, Allie quickly transitioned from a street performer to an emerging global artist. Her YouTube channel grew rapidly, attracting a dedicated audience who connected with her authenticity and talent. Unlike many artists who rely on big production teams, her content remained simple and genuine, which made it even more appealing. She wasn't trying to be perfect, she was just being real. Opportunities began to follow, including invitations to perform at events and collaborate with established musicians. Her journey also brought her to shows like The Ellen DeGeneres Show, where she shared her story and performed for a wider audience. These moments helped solidify her place in the music world. Yet, despite the growing attention, she remained grounded, often returning to the streets where it all began. It was a reminder, to herself and to others, that her success was built on passion, not just popularity. Facing setbacks and growing stronger. Not every step in Allie's journey was smooth. Like many young artists, she faced moments of disappointment, including her experience with Britain's Got Talent. Although she impressed during auditions, she didn't make it as far as many expected. For some, this might have felt like a major setback, but for Allie, it became just another part of her growth. By that time, she had already built a strong independent presence online, which gave her something even more valuable than a competition win: creative freedom. she continued releasing music, performing, and connecting with her audience on her own terms. These experiences taught her resilience and helped her understand that success isn't always defined by trophies or titles. Sometimes it's about continuing forward, even when things don't go as planned. And in her case, those challenges only made her stronger and more determined. The weight of fame and expectations fame arrived quickly for Allie, and with it came a level of pressure that's hard to imagine. Suddenly, she wasn't just performing for fun, she was performing for millions. Every video, every appearance, every song carried expectations. People wanted consistency, perfection, and constant engagement. While the love from fans was genuine, it also created a silent burden. Maintaining an image, meeting expectations, and staying relevant became part of her daily life. Over time, this began to take a toll. She openly shared that there were moments when she felt overwhelmed, unsure if she could keep up with everything people expected from her. It's a reality many young artists face, but rarely talk about. Behind the smiles and performances, there's often exhaustion and self-doubt. For Allie, learning to handle this pressure became just as important as her music itself. It was no longer just about talent, it was about balance and emotional strength. Finding her own artistic identity, as she grew older, Allie began to explore her own voice, not just as a singer, but as a songwriter. Moving from covers to original music is never easy, especially when fans are attached to what made you popular in the first place. Some listeners missed the familiar covers, while others embraced her evolution. For Allie, this shift was necessary. It allowed her to express her own thoughts, emotions, and experiences rather than relying on someone else's words. Creating original songs gave her a deeper connection to her music and helped her build a more personal identity as an artist. It also came with challenges, as stepping away from expectations always does. But growth often requires change, even when it feels uncomfortable. By choosing to evolve, she showed that she wasn't afraid to take risks. She wasn't just a performer anymore, she was becoming a storyteller in her own right. Stepping back from the spotlight, in recent years, fans began noticing something unusual. Allie's presence started to fade. Her uploads became less frequent, and she appeared less often in public. This sudden quietness led to speculation, with many wondering if something serious had happened. But the truth was far more human than mysterious. The constant pressure, busy schedules, and emotional demands had caught up with her. She needed time, not to disappear, but to pause. During this period, she focused on herself, away from the noise of expectations. It was a time of reflection, where she could ask important questions about her life and career. Instead of chasing constant visibility, she chose to prioritize her well-being. In a world that often demands non-stop activity, stepping back can feel like a bold decision. For Allie, it was necessary. It wasn't the end of her journey, it was simply a moment to breathe and reset. A new chapter and a balanced future. When Allie eventually returned, there was something different about her. Not in a negative way, but in a more grounded and mature sense. She spoke openly about the importance of self-care, balance, and understanding what truly matters. Her break had given her clarity. She realized that success isn't just about fame or numbers, it's about feeling fulfilled and staying true to yourself. Moving forward, she became more selective with her projects, choosing quality over quantity. She also reconnected with the simple joy of music, the same joy that once led her to perform on the streets of Dublin. Her story is still unfolding, and there's no doubt that she will continue to create and inspire. But now, she does so on her own terms. And perhaps that's the most powerful part of her journey, not just rising to fame, but learning how to live with it while staying true to who she really is.